there are certain gaps that can threaten the respect in a relationship. For example, if there is a big educational gap, you have to be careful. If the woman is more educated, she has to be especially careful. When a woman feels like she's smarter than the man, she tends to step all over the man. Unless she's religious and she has very good midot. If she went way ahead of him in terms of education, it's sometimes a challenge not to say things that are inappropriate or disrespectful. We've seen so often that we could write a book on the subject alone of how women who are much more educated than the men didn't know how to properly restrain themselves. There was a particular couple where the woman, Arlene, was smarter, sharper, and more educated than the man she was dating. She was warned about this, but the infatuation was so great that she did not want to hear it. She insisted that his other qualities were more important. As she tries to convince the dating coach, she was told that she was trying to convince herself as well. After they married, Arlene slowly began to badger her husband with endless insults. Endless insults. She was annoyed that he was not ambitious as she was. She was bothered that her paycheck was twice the size of his. She knew that she would be making double his salary when she first met him. That wasn't a surprise. The only thing that changed was that when the infatuation wore off, her eyes were opened. And guess what? She started to attack him mercilessly. Unfortunately, she continued to harass him with insults until they eventually suffered a bitter divorce. A large age gap is another potential red flag. If the man is up to 10 years older, it's usually not a problem. Unless he's vastly more educated or worldly than the girl. But after 10 years, you got to be cautious. A husband and a wife must feel like equals in order to have a healthy relationship. Obviously, if he's way beyond her in life experience and maturity, he might start looking down at her. Let's share an insight from ancient Jewish philosophy that sheds light on the subject. There is a saying in Pirkei Avot: make for yourself a mentor. Aseh lecha rav. Make for yourself a rabbi. Ukneh lecha chaver. And acquire a friend. Pay attention. A rabbi, you can get for free. A friend, be ready to pay for it. That's how valuable a great friend is. A rabbi, no problem. You don't have to pay. A friend, acquire with money if you have to. Right? And be sure to judge everyone favorably. Again, Pirkei Avot teaches us, make for yourself a rabbi, buy or acquire a friend, and judge everyone favorably. These words teach us about 3 different types of relationships everyone should have in his or her life. Number 1, mentors. Mentors. These are people who are ahead of us in life. They're wiser. They're more experienced. We need to seek out mentors and learn how to be guided by mentors. 2, friends. These people are our equals. They tend to be at similar stages in life to us. Sometimes we cry on their shoulders. Sometimes they cry on our shoulders. We confide in our friends and they confide in us. It is an equal relationship. And mentorees. The third category, we are the mentors. Others are being guided by us. Of course, we need to judge everyone favorably, but especially our mentorees. Judge our students and our children favorably. Those younger than us, those we're teaching, those we're advising. They're less experienced and less wise than we are, and they will definitely make mistakes that we would never make. A husband and a wife should fit into which category? What do you think? 1, 2, or 3? 2! Excellent. A husband and a wife should fit into the second category. Although there are times when either a husband or a wife acts as a mentor in an area that they're more developed than their partner, the relationship should be one of peers, one of equals. The couple must therefore relate to each other as equals. If he's much older, this equal friendship might not exist. For example, if a woman marries her teacher or professor, she initially may be awed by his knowledge, but sooner or later she's going to feel that she simply doesn't measure up to him. He's too far ahead of her. That being said, there certainly are couples who have a 15-year age gap and it works, but it only works if they relate to each other as peers and not as father-daughter. You've got to always be able to relate to each other as equals, as peers. What if she's the one who's older? What if the girl's older? I recently did a shidduch where the girl's 25 and he's 21. And I had a very interesting case over the winter, very religious, where the woman, Hasidic, where the woman was 29 and he was 41. No, I'm sorry, he was 29, she was 41. Yeah. Well, it depends on how mature the man is. Again, what if the woman is the older one? It depends on how mature the man is. If she's a year or two older, the difference may not be noticed. If she's 4 or 5 years older, he would have to be extraordinarily mature in order to be a healthy partner for marriage. Keep in mind that the Torah always tells us that women mature faster. That's why their bat mitzvah is 12 and a bar mitzvah is 13. The Torah acknowledges that a woman matures faster, and a woman by nature has what's called the binah yetera, an extra sense of wisdom that a man will never have. That's why I always tell guys who are in business, you want to take on a partner, bring him home to dinner, and just ask your wife to watch him. Guaranteed, whatever she tells you, listen to her. They always get it right. Because that's the extraordinary wisdom that God gives a woman.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.